I do every so often. I like to kind of record the behind the scenes of shots of just pictures, setups that I'm putting together to take pictures of. And a lot of times, you know, not everything comes out in the shot. Sometimes you use different props, you'll change the pose. You know, a lot of it is just a work in progress for the most part. For me, you know, more than anything, as I've mentioned a million times, I'm always trying to get better at my posing. I'm always trying to make it so that all the fundamentals of posing your action figures are present. So although this was a pretty simple setup, there was nothing real special about this. What I wanted to do here was just put Deadpool on the ground and kind of put him in a position where it will look realistic, where he's struggling to try to get his katana so he can swing it up at Warpath, who's has a knife and he's trying to basically jam it into Deadpool's head. One of the things that I had to do right when I started setting up the shot, I wasn't really sure what the power level or what strengths, what abilities Deadpool has. I know that he regenerates and so forth, but I was just really curious about his strength, and apparently he has super duper strength. So this makes sense. I mean, he can probably hold off that knife for a few seconds. Warpath is a pretty strong dude himself. So again, just wanted to the fundamentals of posing. Wanted to make sure that everything was kind of flat here on the ground. Have his knee up and it's kind of bent to the side as he's trying to push Warpath off of him so he can grab that katana. Generally, whenever I do these type of shots, I bring out all my props. I have, like, let's light up the props. I have like a million props. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll bring out all of my props and then I'll make a decision on what's going to be used depending on the scene. But you know, there's anything here from, you know, a fridge with ice to a cash register. What else? What all the interesting things we have? We have science stuff, and we have another suitcase. Does this one open? I know the one that I have set up open. I think this one opens. Weapons and more weapons and little Mario, little Luigi, little Iron Man. So, you know, a lot of times whenever I'm creating a shot, you know, I try to incorporate some of the props that I own. And in this case, all I did was just use this helmet. Actually, this helmet was from an action, a McFarlane action figure. I got it dirt cheap. I got it for like $3 or something like that, and just use the helmet. What I want to do actually is paint this helmet at some point. But just put the helmet down and threw a motorcycle in there, and I threw this suitcase in here as well, and then the gas tank there in the back. Yeah, man. So ultimately, you know, this is I really like this dial, but ultimately, like I always say, the dials are just background. You know, this is all about the action figures. This is about the action that's happening in the scene. So I always want you guys to keep that in mind. As much as I love creating dial, I have a lot more love for the action figures themselves. And speaking of action figures, the preceding clip that you saw on this episode was 3 different. What I did is I didn't have my camera. I forgot my camera at work, so I had to record on my iPhone, and the quality was not that great. And so when I played it back, I was like, man, the quality isn't that good. But I decided to keep it because it's a total of maybe 4 minutes altogether. But I did want to show you guys what the shelves look like, you know, once they're all set up. You know, so what I did here is a lot of times, you know, everybody has their own kind of reasons for how they set stuff up. You know, in this case, what I did is I took these top 2 shelves and I just made them the Avengers. I used to have the X-Men on that side, and now I just put the Avengers on the top 2. And this particular shelf is more of doubles, or not doubles, but more of multiples of the same figure. So as you can see, a bunch of Iron Men, Iron Men, Captain America, a couple Hawkeyes, a couple Black Panthers. So anything that doubles up. I left a little space. I was also able to create some space. And over here is the rest of the core team for the most part. I include a shield in there as well. And just made this my X-Men shelf with some space, as I never opened up that X-Men wave, that Toys R Us wave, and I may eventually do that. Kind of made this the street level figures. Don't have much space. I know there's some more Spideys that are coming out, so I need to create a little more space there. But I do want to hang some Spideys up. I took Jaws' idea, and basically you can see that suction cup right there. So I'm going to use that suction cup, and then I'm going to use this Spidey, and I'm going to try to Dremel some holes in his hand so he can hold this web. So that's the goal. And then on here, another X-Force, or rather an X-Men slash Guardian slash other characters shelf. Over there is mostly the army builders, and in the bottom shelf I have the movie figures. They're in the back, some of the bad guys, and the rest of the bad guys. And I actually had to expand where the villains sit, as there are more and more villains being released, which is great. Alright, y'all, and I am outie 5,000. Peace. Oh, and these, I'm going to give these away. Not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to give these away. Alright, so tonight I decided to go with more of a comedic type setup. Last night I had the Warpath and Deadpool setup, so tonight I just said, you know, I kept the same dio out and just decided to make it a little more comedic. I normally don't do these type of shots, but I just happened to have found this little poster that was created for me by Michael Wisman. He had sent it to me a while ago, along with a bunch of cutouts. So for whatever reason, I just didn't put that poster in that white book that I keep all my cutouts and whatever. So I was just going through some stuff, saw this, and this basically gave me the idea of having Goku want to join the ranks of AIM, and Krillin is kind of clowning him a little bit. So decided to go with this type of setup tonight, and posted it up on the Toy Pop session. I'm taking a couple other angles and post them up in the P&P group over in Facebook, the Paint and Plastic group, and I just may drop one in the ACBA group. I may not. So this setup takes a while to set up. I mean, I already had this dio out from last night, which is cool, but I had to get that extension piece in the back so I can have kind of the AIM soldiers almost at, you know, they're in line. They just finished signing up and they're getting their assignments or what have you. And at any time, you know, I take out figures from the shelves. For example, in this case, they were in that spot, so I had to remove the Wrecking Crew so I can get to the AIM soldiers. And then anytime that I use the DBZ figures, I always box them up. I don't leave those out. These figures are on the pricier end of action figures, so my whole thing is just kind of dust getting into all the little nooks and crannies, and, you know, discoloring if the sun gets to it and stuff like that, just because the materials that these guys use are a soft plastic material, so almost rubber like. So I keep these boxed up, so, you know, I have to take them out and then switch up whatever hands and the head, and so once I break the setup down, I have to kind of put everything away. And then these boxes are just lights and extra background colors and some effects. And I think I have, yeah, just some random. So yeah, it's pretty much kind of a whole operation. And then you set it up, you take the picture, you take it down. But yeah, just wanted to share kind of behind the scenes. And then back here I just have a big yellow type foam board and another foam board on that. Although I don't think I ended up taking the picture at that angle, but just in case. Alright, yeah, and I'm out. Peace. Alright, so here's a quick little segment I'm calling Top Shelf. So as far back as I can remember, I've always had little knickknacks on top of my bureau. Whatever it may have, you know, obviously I've always been into action figures, so there'd be some action figures just kind of like that on my bureau. And I've always had just little things that I would find that I thought were cool, little cars. They used to have those little micro cars. I remember having like sets of those, just cool little things. So I've always just I don't know, it's just always been something I've done. So as I've become a collector of many things, that's expanded. So on my top shelf, and actually that's not even the tallest shelf in in the room. That's the tallest shelf, but that's not even really a shelf. That's the top of the top. But anyway, I digress. This is my top shelf. So obviously it's all the heads that have been extras with the Marvel Legends for the most part. This Flowmaster felt tip pen. Now that I say it, I feel like I've done something similar. Maybe I haven't, but anyway. Before there were graffiti markers, this is one of the first tools that graffiti writers turned to when they wanted to tag the subways and so forth, was the Flowmaster. So this is a really old, I think this is like from the 70s. I got it on eBay years ago. And it's a complete set. It's kind of cool. You can change the tips and so forth. Up here, this is a guaranteed good shit. This is something my girl got for me as a gift. This cool little tin. But anyway, the spray paint. So this spray paint here is a company called Iron Lock. I think they're out of Germany, but they cater specifically to graffiti writers, and this was a special edition designed by the team over at Bodega, which is a store here in Boston, and it's actually one of the top boutiques in the world for sneakers and apparel. Then this Krylon, actually, real cool story real quick. This is when they used to have the labels on the cap. So this Krylon's from like the 70s as well. And I got lucky. I ran into this old school hardware store that was going out of business, and I asked him if they had any old Krylon, and he came with a case of this brick, which is a classic graffiti color. It had rust magic. It was a thicker pigment. It was a really good graffiti color back in the day, and he actually had 24 of them. So he had a case. So he sold. He said, "How about $1 a piece?" I was like, "Word, 24 bucks for 24 of these," and I ended up blowing them pretty much on stupid shit. I should have saved them a little more. This Krylon is an even older can of spray paint. This is when the tips were actually metal, which is kind of cool. My boy, he found this in between a wall where he works. He was working a demo job, I believe, and he found it. And he had some older ones. So I basically, I had told him, or I had mentioned that I was looking for these older cans, and he had an extra, and we ended up trading. He gave me this can, and I gave him a Tightly Laced Kicks t-shirt. Now, Tightly Laced Kicks is a company that I own, that we do events, and we also sell t-shirts. We used to sell t-shirts because we no longer do that. Series 2 of the Graffiti Legends. This is where I would get a graffiti artist, and I'd pay him to come up with a design, and we limit them to like, wow, I don't even remember. I think it was like 50 shirts or something like that, and then we would box them up like sneakers, and inside is the t-shirt with the tissue paper. Actually, if you search Tightly Laced Kicks here on YouTube, I used to have a channel where I would push these shirts. So if you want to check out details, go check that out. Up here is a Gizmo Funko. A friend of mine gave me this, and Gizmo's, he's that dude, so I definitely kept it. That's that classic, these classic wooden statues or wooden articulated, you use them to draw. It's standard in art schools and so forth. This dumpster is a cool dumpster. I got it from what's it called? WW Superstore or WrestlingSuperstore.com. I'm pretty sure it's WrestlingSuperstore.com. So they sell these dumpsters. So I got this one, and this is all tagged up by crew members from my graffiti crew and other graffiti writers in the city of Boston. I got a second one, and this was actually tagged up by the ACBA crew. So the two special pieces that I own, that I'll always keep. Up there is one of my favorite Joes of all time, the Cobra Viper. And this figure's specifically dope in that the face is that the mask is kind of that shiny. So they had never done this with this figure before, so I thought it was real dope, so I haven't opened it. It'll be a while before I open it. Black Label. It's a bottle that drank with a few cool people in my life. Good memories. Oh, so I have a Mystic. Back in the day, Mystic was pushed by Redman and Method Man. A lot of people don't know that. And Mystic is not, I don't think they make juices like now like they used to, but if you remember 10 years back, Mystic was kind of a standard in the juice, in the juice section of anywhere you went. to get juices. And yeah, so they used to have Method Man and Red Man, which is kind of funny because these are known herbalists. So I thought it was a real bold move by Mystic to put them on a bottle. And, you know, the classic Coke with my name on it. And that is what is on my top shelf. So if you have a top shelf and you do something similar to this, show me what you got. Tag me and I'd like to see. And this is just a cup. And I bring this cup, I don't even know what it's there. Alright, y'all, and I'm out. Peace. When they're playing soccer, you know, it's groundskeepers that are keeping the field ready. You feel me? Like the Patriots, for example, that stadium, they have a full-time crew that maintains that grass because they play soccer there and football. Salud.
Gracias.
Alright, so we're about 20 minutes out of our destination, which is apparently Albany, New Hampshire. We're gonna be hanging out mostly in North Conway, New Hampshire. It is Friday, July 31st, 2015, and I'm here with Priceless, who's the driver of this journey, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna go check out the Lost River, which is something I've been wanting to see for years. Over 10 years I've been wanting to visit this place. And then we're gonna go to just some other activities. One of them I think is what was it?
I don't know, but we should see if they have a powwow tonight.
No, not well. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll powwow like a motherfucker. No, I'm talking about the roller coaster that you saw.
Oh, like the place has a zip line. They have zip lines and they have a mountain roller coaster.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the zip lining and/or mountain roller coasting.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we're gonna keep you abreast of the journey, and we'll be back. Pedazo.